there traders, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 of Spinning the Tea of the Trading World. Today we're going to be discussing about psychology, more specifically the psychology of losing your trade even when your strategy is correct. It's all in your emotions. And this is where majority of traders, whether it's an amateur or a beginner, fall apart, including myself. It's not the charts, but it's you and that head of yours. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Enjoy this video, smash that like button. Have you ever made the perfect trade and then panicked? Like your analysis was on point, your entry was on point, but somehow you still lost the trade. Don't worry, you're not alone. It happens to the best of us. It even happened to me recently, which is why I decided to do this video. So you guys can learn and I can also learn from my mistakes. So if you want to know how much I blew my account by and how I blew my account, stick around to the end. But essentially, the reason why I lost a lot of money, even when my strategy was correct, was because of my emotions, and I'm sure all of you guys can relate. So I'll be giving 3 psychological traps that sabotages your trade, and I'll be giving you mini tips to fix them. Okay, number 1 is the fear of losing. Here is the truth. As traders, no matter how many times we have traded, beginner traders or amateurs, when we see that small pullback, it can trigger panic. For instance, let's say we are in a buy position, right? And then all of a sudden we see a red candle, and then now our position has become red and we're at a loss, okay? It hasn't touched our stop loss yet, but we are at a loss. Our brain automatically says, it's like the devil, it's like, you know, like the angel and devil whisperers you hear in the movie. Same thing, same context. The devil's literally whispering, get out, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, and you panic. Or you panic and you freeze and take a bigger L. That's worse. This also happened to me before. That isn't bad strategy, it is psychology. Like what I was saying, even when everything's perfect, we as traders exit early, miss a profit, or take a loss. Now, the reason for this, I'm going to give you guys like a mini science lesson. Hopefully I don't bore you. So when you're stressed, your body releases something called cortisol. And that cortisol is when your body is in fight or flight mode. And when cortisol kicks in, your brain isn't thinking logically. It just wants safety. That's why traders exit too early or hold on to trades. So because of cortisol and our emotions, the fear of losing, the reason why we lose and panic is because our logic goes straight to the bin, out of the window, and you're not trading charts anymore, you're trading emotions. It's you against you. You're basically now trading fear and not strategy. And yeah, like we were saying, your brain's on fight or flight response, and which spikes cortisol and creates an emotional reaction. Here is a mini tip that has helped me after blowing not all of my account, a bit of my account, and I've started to see progress. So here is a mini tip. So predefine your stop loss. Think of your stop loss as a bodyguard. So you have to essentially stick to your plan regardless of small pullback. Let me give you a scenario. For instance, I will set my stop loss when I'm in a calm state. Before I actually trade, I will quickly put 10 points on to get it ready. So when I actually trade, I just click the button, buy or sell. So once I created my stop loss, once it's there, my job is done. And because I'm sticking to my plan, it keeps the fear from taking over. However, I know when we sit down on the laptop for too long and we're seeing pullbacks, our fear starts talking, close now before it gets worse. But you have to think, this is my plan, I made a plan, this is my stop loss, this is how much I'm gonna lose. Why let my panic and cause chaos? I know it's easier said than done. It's gonna take time, and it's also taking me time because sometimes I like to change my stop loss when you shouldn't. That is wrong. But I know it's gonna take time, but it's a progress, right? Something that does actually help me is I'll set the stop loss, right? And I see a pullback. I decide to just go for a walk in my room, just go up and down. Maybe for 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, because I know our eyes just want to be on the screen at all times. But that's like a little tip I can give. And essentially, you have to think about it this way. Your stop loss protects you, and it protects you from yourself. Let me know if that tip works. Now, the second problem is greed. Thinking a trade is guaranteed and risking too much. Okay, guys, I know we've all been there, and this is why I lost a lot of money when I was trading recently, which I will show you at the end of the video. For instance, you win a few trades. Let's say you're in green, right? You're scalping. You're feeling invincible. You're feeling untouchable. You're like, yeah, I'm Superman. The market can't beat me. I'm on a roll. And then you decide to risk more and open more contracts. And then what happens? you make a loss. The market beats you, and then you're there thinking, shit, what did I do? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna make it back. And then you don't make it back, you make a loss again. And then you revenge trade, and you can keep on revenge trading, and boom, you've lost your money. And it sucks. And then you just want to keep trading and trading, but you just have to get out, because essentially it's your money on the line. It's no one else's money, it's you against you. Thinking just because something happened recently, it will happen again. That's recency bias. Thinking just because something happened recently, it will happen again. For instance, let's say you're buying, you see a couple of green candles again, and boom, you've doubled your lot size. And then you're chasing setups that aren't even clear. And then your strategy is essentially out the roof. And then this is where overconfidence kick in. As you can see over here, we've got Mr. Daredevil over here. That's us. We're seeing money, we're getting greedy. So essentially this is where overconfidence kick in and our rules suddenly get ignored. Our strategy just goes into the bin. And let's say suddenly, for instance, let's say we made a $200 win. We're on a win streak, right? And all of a sudden we entered the fourth time and we made a $500 loss. And then because we had a $500 loss, what do we do? Automatically, what do? We had a loss, but we just made them in earlier. So what does that mean? We will revenge trade, and we will just be clicking buttons, and essentially we will start gambling because our brain is in fight or flight mode. Think of it this way, it's like a casino. Let's say you won 3 hands of blackjack and you're feeling invincible. You're like, yeah, man's got this. I'm making bare money. I'm making that cash. And like you're showing off in the casino, right? And then you start feeling invincible and you start betting bigger. But essentially, the house doesn't care about your streak, and neither does the market. The market isn't your friend. That's something you have to remember. The market isn't your friend. Essentially, what I'm trying to get at is greed tricks you into thinking the market owes you money. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Stick to your rules, win feel good, but consistency is king. Okay, here is a mini tip to try and beat greed. Essentially, you want to define maximum risk per trade, for instance, 1 to 2%. So don't decide your profits when you're already winning. Let's say you're in a trade and you're seeing green and you're at a win. Don't let that decide your trade, because that is when you're most irrational, okay? Instead, set a profit target before you actually trade. You're going to be like, okay, this is my entry and I'm going to set my target profit over there. And that's it. Literally take this target. Just don't be greedy. I know you want more. And we have this tendency to be like, yeah, I want more money. I'm on a roll. But no, just set your target, set your entry, set your stop loss, and you're done, okay? Easy peasy, lemon and squeezy, okay? So that way you protect your bag and walk away before greed talks you into giving it all back. So, as we said, the fix to do this is to find a maximum risk per trade. Don't just increase your lot size just because you're excited or desperate. The traders who survive this long term aren't gamblers. They are disciplined. So avoid over leveraging if you're using leverages, and review past trades for overconfidence patterns, which we'll get into later. So let's see if you guys were listening. Here's going to be a quick quiz. So when you panic during a trade, which hormone spikes? A, dopamine, B, cortisol, C, serotonin. I'll give you 3 seconds. It is B. It's the stress hormone that pushes you into fight or flight mode. If in case you're wondering where you're getting that information from, there was a study by Harvard's Medical School that literally shows that when your cortisol spikes, your decision making shuts down. So basically, if we were to put it in a scenario of trading, so when you're panicking mid-trade, it's not your strategy that sucks. It's your brain chemistry messing with you. So essentially, it's a mental battle between you vs you. Last but not least is emotions. Your emotions override logic. The flight or flight system kicks in the second the market goes against you. Suddenly, you're not following your plan, you're following adrenaline. This is where fear, greed, or panic takes over. And at that point, your strategy isn't enough. Your strategy literally isn't enough anymore. Your brain doesn't know what it's doing. For instance, I panicked at the first dip and then I closed early, only to watch my price skyrocket. It wasn't a bad strategy, it was emotions taking over. And yeah, strategy alone isn't enough. The truth is, majority of traders, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad that a lot of beginner traders don't understand that. This is why I'm here. But I feel bad that because a lot of beginner traders just give up and think, oh, my strategy is bad. You know what? I'm going to quit trading. But it's not your strategy. It's your emotions. Literally 90%. Okay, I don't know. Don't quote me on the stats. But literally, it's your emotions override your strategy. So essentially, if your strategy is correct and you've done your research on your strategy and you're still losing, it's you, it's your emotion. Try not let it get to the best of you. I know it's easier said than done because it literally happened to me last week and I lost so much money. The reason emotional response dominate decision making and we create trading mistake. And here is a little tip for emotions. So how do you keep emotions in check? So number one is keep a trading journal. When I say trading journal, you don't just write, oh, I entered here and I exited here and I made a loss today and I don't know why. No, what you're gonna do is you're going to write down your feelings. For instance, today I was feeling happy. Oh, today I was feeling sad. Oh, today I was feeling very anxious. Okay, let's use anxious as an example, okay? Let's say Monday I was feeling anxious and you made a loss. And then Wednesday again, you're feeling anxious and you made a loss. But Tuesday you was happy and you made a win, right? That's just hypothetically speaking. Okay. Now, let's say it's happened more than once with you feeling anxious and making a loss. You can track your emotions and figure out the outcomes from that. So you basically essentially later map those notes against the results and you'll start seeing patterns between your mindset and outcomes. Now, the second tips for emotions is practice mindfulness, stay present and reduce impulsivity. One way to do this is before you trade, you breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold and then exhale slowly through your mouth. You essentially do this a few times before you trade and it actually slows your heart rate, it calms your nervous system and it clears your head. So you're not trading on adrenaline. You can do this, essentially do this before you trade, mid-trade and after you take your profit or loss. Finally, you have to accept losses as learning opportunities. Essentially, before you trade, decide in advance how much you're okay with risking and accept it before it hits buy or sell. Let's say if we lose a trade today, I'm going to lose $100 to $200. I'm prepared to lose that much money rather than just going into a trade blindly and then revenge trading. Okay, I think that is the smartest way to go for it because that way a loss doesn't control you, you control the loss. So yeah, I hope these tips help. I know there's probably more tips out there, but these are some of the tips I implement into my trading strategy. So let me know in the comments if it works for you, if you do decide to do it. And yeah, be ready to lose a specific amount so your brain is aware. Okay, now here is a little story time how I lost 3 to 4K. Okay, I have the statements. I will show you the screenshots. Okay, I think I can attach it, one here, one here. Okay, I think I can attach. Okay, now the thing is, I'm not going to count how much, but I'm assuming roughly it was 4K or 3.8K roughly. Okay, I don't want to count because I've forgotten about it. It's out in the blue, you know, new day, new me, new week. Okay, so now here's a little story time how I lost, and it's essentially what we just spoke about. I had the perfect setup. I literally made $600 as you can see from the screenshot. Okay, I made the win. And then what happens? I thought I was invincible. The greed took over me. I thought I was invincible. And then I was like, you know what? Let me trade the 4th time. And then what happens? I made an L. And then I was like, if I made 3 trades and I made a profit and I just made this one loss, I can take back that loss and make a profit. And then I did. And then what happened? I lost again. And then essentially I just started gambling and pressing buttons, buy and sell, because I was revenge trading, guys. It happens to the best of us and it's a learning curve. Like, trading isn't perfect. Like, we're all gonna win and lose, and I thought I would be honest that I lost. Even though it kills me, to be honest, it didn't pain me as much because I didn't work hard for that money that I deposited. It's actually my husband's money. Well, essentially, I should be selfish. It's my money now. It was my husband's money. He gave it to me as pocket money to deposit for trading. But essentially, in my head, I'm like, oh, but technically it's his money. I didn't work hard for his money. But now, it is my money. His money is my money, right? So now this is my money. It kind of took a toll on my emotions because I'm like, oh, I want to win. I want to make money for myself because I basically rely on my husband for income, which is why I decided to do day trading and open a YouTube. So I can also have my own income. You know, as a woman, girl talk, here's a little girl talk. As a woman, you should never rely on a man. You can rely on a man, but I feel like you shouldn't rely on a man, right? You as a woman should, you know, try think of a way to make your own income rather than staying at home all day, you know? Especially if you don't have kids and you're married, why not make a living for yourself, you know? So going back to my point, I basically started losing money and essentially I was gambling, and then actually I did make a few profits and then I gambled again. So yeah, it was just literally a cycle of me just gambling, and yeah, it's not a good feeling, guys. But I'm actually on a mission to regain my 3K back. I'll be hopefully documenting that journey, so stick around for that. So essentially, like what we said earlier, this happened because my body was on fight or flight mode, and then I was just panicking. And literally, the thing is, I don't always like. The thing is, I revenge trade, but I don't revenge trade as I revenge trade on that day. For some reason, I don't know what happened. It was literally the 17th. I don't know what happened on that day. My body just panicked and I just kept pressing buttons, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell on it anymore, guys. I don't want to speak about it anymore because it will bother me. So yes, it's a new day, new me, as I mentioned. So yeah, and the reason was because emotions override strategy, especially when you think you're right. And I think I misspelled right over there, but it's okay. But yeah, I felt like I should share. I wanted to share you my little story because I know there's a lot of trading gurus that don't show their losses. I know he's talking about wins and wins. And to be honest, I also noticed, and I did my analysis on, like, for instance, I'm on TikTok. A lot, when people talk about their losses, no one really cares. The people want to know about wins, which is why I think a lot of gurus don't show losses, because it doesn't perform well. That's why I added it onto the end. So if you did stay to the end to watch how I lost my money, then thank you for watching. But yeah, so here's a little recap. Number 1 was fear. You have to predefine your stop loss. Number 2 was greed, risk maximum 1 to 2%. And 3, emotions, journal, and mindfulness. So before we end this episode, which one do you struggle with the most? Fear, greed, or panic? If you don't know if you have fear, greed, or panic, write down your last 3 trades and note the emotions you felt, and come back to this video and comment down below. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed just talking about this topic. Subscribe for more real trading truths, and I do hope you guys took value and notes on the tips and implement them into your own trading, and I do hope it helps you guys. And before we end the video, we always end it with a little motivation. If you can't control your emotions, you can't control your account. Learn the game and stay ahead. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.